200, I have returned, just like I promised. Okay, so what is today? Today's May 25th, 2020. It's Memorial Day. It's Memorial Day weekend. And so officially, this is a university holiday. But like I said, we got a lot going on this week. So this is the our first instructional video. And I'm also going to be um, showing you a little bit more about how the course operates. Okay, so last time I went through student view. Okay, right now, oh, look at there. See, there's more stuff down here because it's instructor view. All right, and the reason I'm doing this is that when I go into the weekly assignments, I want you to see um, the full layout in terms of what you're going to be doing. So obviously, you guys are working right here, and when you click into this first assignment, again, this video of me is going to go right in here. Um, and you download this and you read it, and at the same time you open this quiz and you take the quiz, and then a lot of you have been going in and introducing yourselves, which is awesome. And so Julie and I and the TAs will be going in there as well. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. All right, so I can go back either here or go back over here and click on the assignments. And so I'm going to go up here just to show you that this does work. All right. And I'll just go down to, for example, this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to hit week 4, part 1. Okay, this is psychology. All right, and again, that week's lecture will be put right in here. These are the readings we want you to download. We also give you some instructions here how to navigate the website, which is a better alternative as long as the URL doesn't change. So we always put the PDF file in there as well as the URL because things sometimes will change. Okay. All right. So it goes over Alzheimer's disease. Again, this is mental health. So we talk about depression. Okay, blah blah blah. We go all through all this. We got lots of stats. Here's the quiz. Here's the discussion. Okay. Now, again, this was week 4, part 1. So if I were to go over there now to and look at student preview, all right. And so we're going to do that again. We're going to right here the weekly assignments, and I'm going to go into week 4, part 1. And so my video is going to go right there. These are reading assignments like we talked about before. We have, as you see at the bottom, opened up every single quiz. So you can work ahead of pace all you want. What we do is we roll out every discussion, okay? So the discussion is based on weeks, okay? So you need to remember to get in and do the discussions because it's hardly a discussion if you're going back in there at the end of the class and rifling through all the discussions. So that's the point of all that, okay? All righty, so yeah, that's it, okay? The other thing that you should do, again, is just start, thinking about these papers. They come at you fast and hard, and so yeah, go in there, okay? And um, what we have in here, okay, in terms of the paper, these are directions. These haven't changed. I'm just going to leave this here in terms of how to do this particular critical thinking assignment. Okay, you're going to this World Bank site that I'm going to refer to in the readings right now. It is awesome. You guys are going to gather data, and you're going to be able to plot it in this website and discuss the meaning of it. Okay, all right, and there's the rubric. So yeah, so these are the written assignments, 2 to 3 pages, 2 to 3 pages for the second one, and then the best one of all at the end is the interview paper. Um, you're gonna love that, and it's a really you know I, I did it with my mom, and it's like I never sat down. I was always like, hey mom, what's up, and then that was it. But with the interview paper, you actually talk some serious stuff, and you learn so much about family history and culture. So my recommendation is the final paper. You get out your phone, okay, okay, and you make a video and you record the interview for posterity to show your children and your grandchildren, right? You'll be able to enter all kinds of cool information into ancestry.com. All right, let's go back to the assignment here. Okay. All right, so this is week 1, so I'm going to click right here. All right, we're back where we were before. Again, my video is going to go right. I'm going to stick this thing right there. Okay. All right, and so you're going to download PDF file. Julia, okay, the brains behind this operation, has said to read forward through trend 5. So we'll kind of go through that. And the way this rolls, again, This is so different than any other course you had online over spring semester. We've been doing this for 8 years. So you work on your own pace and I guide you through it with the videos in terms of what you need to get out of this class, okay? It just makes it super easy. And actually, I think it's a lot more valuable because you do it at your own pace, okay? All right, so I'm going to download this, okay? All right, and we click right there. And you see we have it right here so that it's going to open up in a separate window, all right? All right, so there's the reading. And then what I'm going to do, if I was you, and especially if you have two computers or a big screen, you can just open up multiple windows and just get it done. Okay, so you would minimize this and then minimize this. So you read and you answer the quiz. So you would be like this. You click right here. All right, you hit begin. All right, and here are the questions right there. Okay, question 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now you guys are more than welcome to work together on this. Now, sometimes people, when you do a collaboration, that's a better learning experience. We're okay with that. That's outlined in the syllabus. A little bit more difficult over the summer and especially with social isolation, but nonetheless, you can, do a Zoom call with a buddy or get on the phone and FaceTime them or whatever it is you want to do. Okay. The problem is, okay, we draw from every one of these quizzes draws from approximately 20 questions. And so it's a random question generator. So every one of you is going to get a slightly different set of 5 questions. Okay. All right. So that's it. So my advice to you is you kind of look through the questions. All right. Question 1, between 2006 and 2030. I'm going to remember that. Okay. Right here. The number of older people in less developed countries. Okay. What is that? These are non-industrialized. Okay. Non-westernized. Okay. Less developed countries. Okay. Um, that's kind of like what? Chile. Okay. Mexico, Guatemala, all that kind of stuff. Okay, Bali, countries in Africa. All right. So the number of older people in these less developed countries is expected to increase by what percentage during this time period? Okay. All right. So we're gonna have to look for that. Okay. 2030. This is a benchmark of predictions in this particular publication. Okay. So how many people do you predict will be over age 65? Okay. All righty, so we got to predict that. All right. Um, Remember these questions. Population declines in more developed countries, so that would be us: U.S., Japan, France, Sweden, Norway, Germany. Okay. Are the population declines are due to what cause? Is it because of this, HIV/AIDS, low fertility, okay, migration out of the country? Which one do you think? You could logically tell you. I'll tell you right now, that's low fertility. Okay? People aren't having enough kids. All right, and then again, here's this benchmark: 2006 to 30. Okay, okay, okay. What is the percentage change? All right. All right, so we see 2030 up here, number of people, because again, that's what this paper focus on, and then this puts it in a percentile basis. Okay, then they're going to talk about diseases that are not communicable. A communicable disease is an infectious disease. All right, diseases like cancer. All right, diseases like heart disease, diabetes. Okay, emphysema or chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. These take a long time. You don't get them in an infectious way. It's because of bad luck with genes, a long life, and some really crappy choices usually. But it's a mix of all the three. Okay. Alrighty. So we want to know how that's going to what percentage of disease burden for the population over 60 in all countries. So what is that? Okay, again, um, it's a percentile basis. So that's what you do, and then you come back over here to your reading. All right. So we're going to go through the forward, okay, all the way to number 5. Remember, that's what we were instructed to do. Okay. So all right. So this is pretty topical. All right. The reality is worldwide people are living longer. Okay. Um, we're going to use countries like Japan, okay, France, even the US. We hear this push for healthier lives, and as a consequence, you live a lot longer. And what does that do to the kind of society structure? Okay, in our country, we saw a lot more assisted living facilities. Okay, in other countries, you see a lot more generations living together. Okay, so how does this all play out? What does it do to the bottom line? Okay, when you have a lot more older people. Okay, think Social Security, think pensions, think Medicare. Okay, think costs, economic well-being, and the gross domestic product of your country. How much is being laid out towards older people? All right. All right. So that being said, everything I talked about, the business majors are all going like this. Okay. So you got to plan for this. All right. So longevity, you have to plan. You have to plan for it as an individual. Right now, you should be looking at your parents going, huh? So you're going to be around till you're 95. All right. So I got to think about this. What's the plan? Okay. In your community, okay, in your state, in your country, worldwide. Am I going to be a problem solver for that? All right. Okay, like I said, this affects economic growth. All right, so these are big. Sorry, these are big issues for our country, for every country. All right, um, sustainability of the family structure. All right, are you going to be able to have a house where you can have three generations in it? Okay, if not, who's going to finance the assisted living? All right, all this kind of stuff. Okay, all right. Um, do we have good community development that's going to help you out to provide resources for older citizens? And um, if we find answers, this is a big deal. You're going to find jobs worldwide once you figure it out, right? So the data, okay, of all this was collected by the World Health Organization and the World Bank. You can be using that for your first writing assignment. It's an awesome site. Now, a lot of the stuff we're seeing through here, if you start looking at everything we're talking about, okay, the global burden of disease, okay, it's really hitting at home right now, okay, because of the SARS-CoV-2 infection and consequent COVID-19 morbidity or disease, okay. It's costing society a bundle, okay, um, costing lives. Who's it affecting? It's affecting mostly older people, but not all. Okay. If we look at the likelihood of infection, roughly 70% are over the age of 60. Okay, death rate is highest in older people. Death rate is higher in men than it is in women. Okay, all these different complications in terms of what you're looking at. Okay. Um, and in terms of, we thought we had it all figured out in our westernized society in terms of our nursing homes and our assisted living facilities, and obviously we didn't. Okay, so this is a huge wake-up call, and it's something that you guys will solve. You guys will create an industry, because old people are not going to go away. All right, so yes, people are dying, but it's, in terms of percentage, there's still going to be a lot of us around. And so you gotta come up with solutions, emergency preparedness for these types of infections. Okay. Oh yeah, and by the way, since it is Memorial Day, I thought I would show you this. All right. So awesome. Okay. I am patriotic. Awesome. My dad was in World War II. My aunt was. My uncle was. Okay. My older brother was Vietnam War. He was actually a submarine uh, service guy. He was in the Navy, and I was just underage. Okay. Anyways, so it's awesome that we think about the service done by everybody. Okay, so over and over and over again, we're going to hear about this concept of chronic diseases. Okay, and the impact that it has in your community and worldwide. All right. What's a chronic disease? I talked about it already. Cardiovascular disease, dementia. The cost of this is enormous. Okay, your copay, but more important, insurance companies. Insurance companies, the premiums you pay goes into the payout for these diseases, and Alzheimer's disease. Okay, when we look at dementia and Alzheimer's disease, these people are we're keeping people going. They may have dementia for 10 years, and the care unit may cost 100 grand a year. So, or 60 grand a year. So it's not cheap. Okay. Julia is going to give the lecture team lecture with me about cancer. She was in a clinical trial that ended a year ago. The cost of her care, okay, was $300,000 the first year. Okay, 300,000. Right. So these are big deals that we have to prepare for. All right. And now, right now, we just had an issue with infectious diseases. Okay. All right. And while that's always thought to be more of a disease of youth that cuts away at the population early on, we see that all these chronic diseases are risk factors for COVID-19. Okay, because of its really bizarre, insidious nature of going after your vascular system. All right. Okay, so this the rest of this forward talks about how they've gathered the data. Okay, scientific evidence. Okay, all right, that's what you guys are going to rely on. You're going to believe in science. Okay, they talk about the type of research across national. So this is a global issue. This whole article is about global issues. All right, and us being global citizens and solving these issues. All right, so yeah, it's a really cool article, right? And the cool thing about this article as well is this is an overview. Okay, so we're going to touch on a lot of different aspects of aging, disease, family structure, family responsibility, economics, and both nationally and globally, and then we focus in on those again later on the course. So that way you're just going to build and build and build, and you get the ideas rolling, and they're really going to kind of cement into your psyche. Okay, all righty. So going back, okay, remember what was going on here in terms of the questions. All right, so 2006, 500 million people worldwide, 65 and older. 2030, okay, 1 in 8. So you go back to your questions and you answer that. All right, okay, next. Okay, so when we go through this, I've already talked about it, but it goes into detail the challenges that you guys are going to face, that your parents are going to face as they live it, and your grandparents. Okay, this global aging phenomenon. Okay, yeah, we just did a recent census, so it's important to get this data so we can make predictions. All right. How it's going to then, once we make the predictions based on numbers, we know we're going to think about economic growth, trade, disease patterns, and emergency preparedness, all these kinds of things. Okay. All righty. Facts, we know obviously the population is aging. Life expectancy is increasing. We're going to go over that. Why is that? Because things that used to kill us, like not wearing seatbelts, okay, we put on seatbelts and suddenly the death rate goes down. And that's an issue of youth, because testosterone makes you drive like an absolute fool. Okay. Alrighty. We're going to see that on a percentile basis, people over 85 are the fastest growing population. They're actually numerically the fastest growing. Centenarians are growing, but of course there's not as many of them. Okay. Alrighty. We talk again about this concept of infectious disease versus a chronic non-communicable disease like cancer. Okay. All right. Like heart disease, like diabetes. There is a cancer that is infectious, okay, and there's a couple of those, all right, but for the most part, the other ones are not, okay. Cervical cancer, throat cancer, all right, from the human papillomavirus is an infectious disease. Liver cancer from hepatitis is an infectious disease, okay. So there are examples of viral infections. There's a form of lymphoma that you get from a virus as well. Okay, Epstein-Barr virus causes that. So cancer does have other aspects to it. Okay, all right. So we're going to see a shift in populations. Some populations are going to shrink. Japan has been, they're the canary in the coal mine. They've been shrinking for a while. Okay, we're aging at an unprecedented rate. Okay, and some populations, we'll see Russia are declining super fast. Okay, why? Because who wants to live in Russia? Okay, so anybody has their whereabouts, they can get out of there. They're immigrating, and boom, they're going somewhere else. Playing the NBA. All right. So with this dynamics, we have changing family structure. Okay, fewer children. All right. What does that mean? Well, you have fewer options for care when you get for the older people. If you have fewer kids, then who's going to do the caregiving? Okay, you only have one kid, then that one kid has to do everything in terms of managing finances and hospitalization. Um, well, let's say you choose to have a multicultural house, then again, the onus is on you. All right, the more kids, the more you can kind of spread it out. All right, um, patterns of work and retirement. Okay, these are shifting. I was getting so close to the finish line. I'm going to be 64, and then what happens? We have the financial decline. Okay, the recession in 2008. I'll make a comeback financially, and then boom, I lost 30% of my portfolio here in the last 2 months. All right. So it looks like I'm going to be working for a while if I am going to live till I'm 100 years old of age. All right. So as a consequence, um, um, there's going to be a lot more strain on pension systems. Okay, people's 401ks, their individual retirement accounts have taken a major hit. So now a lot more people are going to be relying on social insurance systems like Social Security, Medicare, things like that. All right. That means that more has to be paid into it by you. Okay. So these are big, big economic challenges. Okay. And then ultimately, as we age out, if you guys don't keep having kids, we're going to have an issue in terms of labor supply. And this is why immigration is such an important aspect of our nation's economy, because you need the best possible workers. If there's not enough kids, then what are you going to do? All right. Cool. All right. So this goes through countries. All right. It talks about Europe right here. All right. Again, the issue is with Europe is they believe in a guaranteed income pension. We only do that in our government for the most part now. Police officers, firefighters, city workers, Congress, Senate. All right. They have a guaranteed flow of money until the day they die. The rest of us have to put our money away into a retirement account. That is, you're going to learn about tax deferred. I'll pay taxes on it later when I spend it. Okay. A lot of European countries didn't do that, and now they are absolutely hamstrung. Okay. In terms of the amount of money that the country is spending, which is their gross domestic product, so much of it is going towards pensions that they are getting underwater. Okay. All right. So what are we going to do? All right. All right. So you have to anticipate. That's why having people that model this, okay, that look at the census and make predictions is so important. All right. So you cannot wait, because it will become a serious burden if you don't plan for it. Okay. All right. And that's what this is all about. All right. Um, and the countries that are the most underprepared are the developing countries. Okay. Now we're going to talk about this later on, but it just gives you a kind of a feel of what you're going to have to do, because you can't rely on Social Security. All right. So if you're 40 years old, okay, and you save $10,000 per year, okay, it's going to accumulate to approximately 700,000 by the time you are 70 years of age. And the key concept of this is compounding interest at 5% a year. I mean, the last 10 years, we were close to 10% a year. So we were rocking and rolling. Obviously, we took a hit, but you know what? You just got to look the other way. It's coming back. All right. Don't worry about that. Okay. Now, if you'd begun saving when you're earlier, like you guys, you would only have to save this much per year to get this to the same level. All right. You're going to see a large percentage of Americans don't have anything. The median is about 16,000 right now, which is crazy. All right. So don't wait. Don't wait. That's what this is all about. Okay. Okay. All right. So, like I said, a lot of countries are really, really, really burdened by this. The European countries are really burdened by their guaranteed system of giving a pension, like we give our police officers. You can't do that to workers. Okay, government can't do that, and they're going broke because of this. Okay. All righty. Okay, so let's go through this. Okay, so this is again looking at the numbers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly through this. You can do the reading, but this is the most important thing. These are the numbers along with the predictions. All right, and you can see here it's called a dependency ratio, okay? And we're going to talk about, you'll do that when you do your papers, okay? And we look at the percentage of older people, okay, and young children, okay, as a percentage of the population, okay? So we see here, on the left-hand scale, 20, 15, 10, okay, and 5, right? Since people are generally, especially in industrialized, westernized countries, not having kids, the percentage of the population that is less than 5 is getting lower and lower and lower. Okay, these are dependents. Okay, actually, true dependencies are about from 18 to birth. Okay, these guys over the age of 65 are also kind of viewed as dependents. Okay, and you see how the shift is happening. So more and more people over here are dependent on society. All right, awesome. All right, so that's and you, I guarantee you, we drew some questions where we were looking at these exact dates and asking when the transition happened. Okay, all right, cool. Now, in terms of being able to prepare for this, um, older countries have had a long time to see, and this is just a number where we're looking at people the age of 65, and you see right here, they transitioned from 7 to 14%. All right, so it doubled. We see that it took 115 years in France. It took 85 years in Sweden. Okay, it took about 70 years, almost 69 years in the U.S. Um, and we see down here, all right, that it happened really fast. Okay, really fast. All right, 26, 45. Again, Japan is canary in the coal mine for how quickly that happened, and they weren't prepared for it. Okay. Now, we had a lot of time here to prepare. Okay, we had a lot of time. Japan did it early. Okay, they did it very early on. Okay, all right. Now you see over here that this transition is happening pretty quickly. So these countries are definitely not ready. Definitely not ready. Definitely not ready. All right, for what's going to happen. All right. All right. Cool. So increase in life expectancy. All right. Like I said, Japan was our kind of litmus, a canary in the coal mine. All right. And so this whole section talks about what's happened in Japan. The biggest change, okay, that was one of the questions, was a shift from high to low fertility. Right. They're not replacing themselves. Okay. You combine that with a steady increase in life expectancy because, generally speaking, diet and exercise are valued. Okay, in Japan, they have a lot of stress, but they live longer. Alrighty, and because they're a westernized country, they don't have infectious diseases, and so the burden becomes chronic diseases. All right. All right. So go down here to the next figure, and what does this show us? Okay, so this is the U.S. These are called survivorship curves. Okay, it's 100%. We could look at a million people, but let's just say 100 people. Okay, we take 100 people that were all born, okay, in 1901, right here, and we looked at how many people were still alive in the first 10 years, okay, right here. And you see we almost lost 20% of them in 1901. Why? Because of infectious diseases, crappy hygiene, bacterial infections, all that kind of stuff. People didn't understand washing their hands, et cetera, okay? And then other diseases would still get them, okay? And so we can look at how many are still left. If we had that original 100, we have 50% right here. We see that the average, that would be 50% average, life expectancy was a little over 60 years of age if you were born in 1901. Fast forward to 2003, we wash our hands, we have antibiotics, we have a pretty good handle on viruses, parasites, things like that. And as a result, prenatal, perinatal care, all that kind of stuff. As a result, people are living longer. So we had the same 100 people, a different 100 people, I'm sorry, born in 2003, and almost everybody survives. Almost everybody survives. And then we come out here and we look at, again, when are half the people dead? Remember, half the people over here were close to 60. Half the people over here, we come all the way out here, approaching 90 years of age. All right, that's called the survivorship curve. All right, so this is the increase in survival, men versus women. Women outlive men. Okay, believe it or not, a part of it is the immune system, and I just wrote a paper on that. why it is that men are dying at a much higher rate and getting much more, many more are getting infected and hospitalized with this COVID-19. And it's because of distinct, unique differences between women and men. Women mount a much superior defense against viruses than men. It's just, it is the way it is. Men get sick more often, they get more severe illness. It's thought to ensure that the women stay reproductively viable. It's this kind of a safety valve. There is a price to pay though. Women also, because their immune system is so aggressive, they have more autoimmune disease. All right, cool. All righty. Part 3, all right, again, looking at the rising numbers, okay? The oldest old, often referred to as people over the age of 85, but centenarians are even older. God, in fact, I wanted to show you this. I had a class, we were going to look at centenarians. We're going to go to, where was it? Right here. This was a semester abroad class that Julie and I were going to run. We were going to go to Costa Rica, and we were going to live the life, because it's called the Blue Zone. No greater population lives to 100 years of life than the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica. It's beautiful. It's going to teach you how to surf, everything. We were going to do some forest walking in the jungle, all this kind of stuff. Learn how to cook, but guess what? COVID-19. All right, cool. All right, so let's go back and look at our oldest old. All right, so again, what's happening here in terms of percent increases. So not too many, not too big an increase in 0 to 64. People, we're starting for a lower number, but over 100. Look at that, 400% increase. Projected between 2005 and 30. Okay, we're going to go to the Nicoya Peninsula and find that out in Costa Rica. So this is just about preparedness. Get ready for this. Okay. All right. All right. And then the burden. Okay. People live longer. Sadly, you just kick the can down the road. Okay. As you get older, you're still going to have this period of decline. Okay. You survive cancer. You survive diabetes and don't get diabetes, hopefully, heart disease, on and on and on. And then lo and behold, you get Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, which goes up dramatically after you turn 80 years of age. So roughly, if we look at people over the age of 90, about between 1 in 3 and 1 in 4 people get Alzheimer's. So it sucks. Okay. Anyways, all right. All right. So now we can look at westernized countries. Okay, high-income countries. That's us. The percentage of, what are we looking at here? Increase in burden. Okay, financial burden. Okay, of diseases. Okay, it's these diseases of aging. Okay, right here. You look at low to middle income, and you see it's the green, the communicable maternal perinatal nutrition conditions. Oh yeah, I forgot. Nutrition is another big deal. You eat better, you live longer. Right. So you see, it's a bigger burden for them. All right. Awesome. Okay. All right. So this is where we're going to end. And you see right here, which countries are going to show the biggest projected population decline? It's Russia, followed by Japan, Ukraine. Okay. What's going on in these countries? All right. So we're going to see a greater percentage of older people, and people are not having kids. People just are not having kids, and so you have this population decline. Plus, Russia kind of, it's a tough place to live, so people are getting the heck out of there. All right, so we can look at Russia, since it was so amazing in that last figure, and we see the percent increases. Okay, so we're looking at the over here are not percent, the numerical increases in the population. That's what this is on the bottom, as a function of age groups here. You see these are increasing all these old guys, and you see down here these younger people are gone. These people are immigrating and finding jobs somewhere else where the economy is more stable. Okay, all right, so that's how you do it. What do we got to do next this particular week? All right, I'm going to go back over here, and you're going to go in and you're going to do your discussion as well. All right. So this one's kind of soft pedal. Awesome. People are getting in there and doing it right now as already. Very cool. All right. And again, what you're going to do right here is you just go in and you make a comment. All right. So I'm going to look at Brennan. All right. So Brennan tells me all about his deal. All right. All right. He's a senior. He's from San Diego. All right. He's enjoying quarantining. All right. All right. So he's going to learn about the implications. Okay. All right. So I'm going to reply to Brennan as well. So I hit Brennan. Right. And you're going to make your own post. And I showed you how to do that. I say, hey, and all right. I would say, what's up? Oops, sorry. Glad to meet you. I used to sunset set cliffs in SD all the time when I was a kid. I did. All right, the surfing spot down there. And yes, quarantining sucks. All right, I'm over quarantine, but you know what? We got to do it. We have to do it because we don't have any other tools. We got to do it. Or just wear a mask. You know? I'll send you a link to one of my oldest friends is the chief medical officer in New York City, in charge of this COVID-19 epidemic, and we sat down, did an interview with him for USC, and just wear a mask. It's just like if it's kind of like I'll show you what I mean. So in South Korea, wearing a mask is okay, like this. All right, in South Korea, people put on masks like they put on the sunglasses and nobody cares. Nobody looks twice. So put on your sunglasses and then guess what? Put on your mask too. All right. And then it's awesome. Okay. And we just got to change our culture and get over ourselves as US citizens if you're not a mask wearer. Okay. All right, guys. I think I'm it. I'm at the point where I'm going to say goodbye. Take care. We'll see you next time.